right, let's grab some seats. All right, let's get it wrapped up. We got anybody in the room? So how'd y'all like the conference? Yeah. It seems like you had a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure it's team 10, by the way, one because they voted for themselves every time. 90%. They had the unfair advantage. Yeah. So, hey, it happens in the game. Let's get into the most memorable moments. Just shout them out for us. Tell us what was your most memorable moment so far. Katie, that's a good one. Iceman, yeah. Some people got to meet the Iceman last night. You and you. How's the luster bot that you practiced on?
It was really accurate, scary.
That's it. That's the most like badass promotional statement ever in the history of promotional statements. How'd you feel about the luster bot, bro?
I like the luster bot a lot. Got me asking a couple great questions, and
shut down immediately.
Yeah. Unless you're not working. Yeah. Alex got to witness a whole new world today. Or yesterday. It was probably a wild time for him. Anybody else? What's your favorite moment? Dale. The Polaroids. Yeah. How'd you like them headshots? You're awesome.
We had a sales conference and a hurricane and no one knows.
Yeah. It was that Curtis Weinstein said that we destroyed the hurricane, and then he showed me a picture of the eye touching Knoxville and the storm breaking apart around us. How cool is that? We killed a hurricane. It was probably Knoxville, or the mountains, I mean, but it wasn't. Yeah. We'll take it. We'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it. I appreciate everybody being here. Surprised on the keynote. You know? I was gonna have Gary Vee come down, but then he was like, I'll discount you like $90,000, and I was like, no, thanks. I want to take you guys through the life of the copier warrior. You had some incredible workshops yesterday. We kind of went through the sales process, the sales cycle. We learned video, we learned words, we learned stories, we learned contact marketing, we learned email. Y'all suck at email. Well, we're gonna get better, right? We're gonna get better, right? Listen, we're gonna get better, okay? So I want to wrap all that into my life as a sales rep. Now I want to start back in the beginning. Now I don't know who knows, but I actually played in a heavy metal band, a Christian heavy metal band at that. So talking about like super underground, and people be like, oh, you play heavy metal? That's cool. And then I'd go, yeah, it's Christian heavy metal. I'd be like, wow. Alex gets it. You do too. This guy's band is With Blood Comes Cleansing. Check them out. They have an album called Golgotha, which is the hill in which Christ was crucified. That's how they are so metal and Christian all at the same time. We played a show in Queens with his band, and the Crips came to the show. I'm not kidding you. And there was a massive fight during the show, during the set for With Blood Comes Cleansing. And then the singer at the time, good friend of ours, both of ours, he stood up and he goes, I just want to profess my faith and my love for Jesus Christ. And these guys are like, what? I just killed 4 people. Moshing. It's good times. So this was a lifestyle that I had in my younger years. I played in a band, but I was an artist. I love being creative. When I was a child, one of my favorite things to do was to make these fun little books. I would get my dad to bring home because he was a copier salesman. I'd give him the saddle stitch, some paper together, so 8.5 by 11 sheets, and I make a book out of it. What I did is I made like a comic book style book. So I would do like 4 stories on each page. I'd draw the boxes. And my brain would just go wild. I'd come up with the most elaborate things you've ever seen in your life. I think at one point my mom was a little worried about me. Full of blood I was growing, monsters. But my brain would go wild. My mom would say, Dale, walk around the lake at night with his dad and come back, and you would hear an hour-long story about a crocodile coming out of the lake to eat them. I just love the idea of being imaginative and having a lot of fun. But what my dad also cultured in me in those times was that. So it wasn't me going, oh, there's a crocodile in the lake in the early stages. My dad would go, hey, dude, I think there's a giant crocodile in the lake. We're going to have to kill it together. Did you bring your bow and arrow? And that's how it started. I was nurtured into my creativity because my father saw that in me. We've all got different stories about our dads. Some people in there probably didn't even have a dad. And I'm sorry. Mine changed my life. Incredible mirror. raised me on a lot of different morals and principles, but ultimately, he met me where I was, always. He was the path of least resistance, always. He could never do wrong in that man's eyes. Even at 17, breaking out of the house, playing shows past 1 a.m., him texting me going, "You are not still playing the show." But Dad, we're breaking down like at a party somewhere. He was so patient with me and so kind. He taught me so much about sales. Because I believe, and so does my dad, that sales is life, and life is sales. That's what we're going to talk about. When I got out of the band at 21 years old, Alex remembers the nickname for my guitar player. We called him Dirtbag Jesus. You remember him? Yeah? Long, curly hair. He had the aura. He'd come in the venue and hold his hands out like this. And go, "Brothers." It was pretty wild. He's my best friend. His name's Josh Lightfoot. He's my best friend. Known him since we were about 7 or 8 years old. He fell to the dark side. He found heroin, and he started using it in ways that were just unimaginable, and ultimately hiding it from all of us, which was the collapse of the demise of the band. But Josh set me on a path in those moments as well, too. Josh, by the way, just to mention him real quick to honor Josh, Josh is extremely wealthy now and has 2 kids and a wife, and an extremely successful life. Got sober and just changed. We all changed in that chapter during those days. My change was that I needed a job. I didn't have music to come back to anymore. I didn't have that as something to be able to depend on or rely on anymore, and so I needed to work. Well, my dad owned a copier company. So I went to sell copy machines, the most boring, vanilla, generic, monotonous thing to sell in the world. I would fight you, PJ Payroll, on that all day. I got a way more generic, gross sales job than you. Where are my copier people at? Raise your hands. What's up, Warriors? Yeah, but then you got Derek who sells packaging materials, and Jeff sells washers and dryers. So, I mean, we got some homies in the house for sure. How do you get excited about selling payroll? How do you get excited about selling a copy machine? Well, my dad said you can have 2 jobs if you come to work for me. You can clean the toilets or you can sell. I thought in my head that sales was like the bottom of the barrel. Oh, okay. So one of them I don't have to touch poop. See, that works. Little did I know. It's a trap. So I took sales. And in the beginning, I looked at it that way too, that it was not something I would do forever, something I would graduate out of eventually after I earned my stripes. Well, my wife and I lived on $27,000 the first year that I was in sales. Like after taxes. They taxed you on making nothing, right? It was like, what is happening? This was 2008. Y'all remember that time? What happened? And I was driving on my way to work one morning. It was like 6:30, and I'm wiping the crust out of my eyes. Why is my dad making me work this early? And I got to the office, and on the way in, I was listening to the president talk about, "Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, I bailed out everybody." And I thought, "Oh, cool." And I got to the office, and my dad, the phone is ringing. My dad looks extremely stoic, but there's a problem. And he says, "We got to go pick up machines today." We went and picked up $600,000 in revenue over the next 2 weeks. And then after that, there was another like $200,000 we lost. My dad went from a $1.4 million copy dealership to like $800,000 overnight. And he was budgeted at that, right? If you understand finance, my man Stephen Course in the house. You know that like you're in a deficit, like an unbelievable deficit. This is the amazing part about this story. It's something I learned very diligently through this process. Is how important people are. My dad didn't fire one single employee. So y'all see all these tech layoffs happening after 2020 and all this garbage happening in the world. My father did not fire one person. Isn't that incredible? I remember on Fridays, some of y'all heard this story. I remember on Fridays, we'd go to get the payroll done. My dad, he'd be sitting in his office, he'd just shut the door. And he'd go, my wife remembers this pretty well too. Because I'd be texting her like, I think I'm not getting paid. So we're gonna need to go eat somewhere. He'd show me the bank account and we'd be like $700 in the bank. And we'd have to make a $22,000 payroll. That's insane, right? And I'm telling you guys, every time we were provided for, I had no buzzer. The mail would come in, $22,000 check. Woo! Yeah, we'd call up the banker and be like, put this in now! And he would. John Hewitt, I'll never forget that man at PNC Bank. He'd say he's from New York, and he'd say it like this, I'm from New York? Yeah, bro, you're from Alabama. Everything always worked out. My dad would tell me after all the stress that I would go through in those moments, he would say, just trust. Trust and continue the process. No matter what, always. And in that, because multiple times what came up was, well, if we just got rid of some people, we'd be all right. That was my naivety at my age. My dad also, in the back of his head, was thinking, they have families to feed. They have legacies they're building. They have put trust and dependence on me. And he fought every day. He never took the easy way out. My dad didn't take a paycheck from 2008 to 2011. It's crazy. We had a gas card that we finally paid off in 2010. From 2008 to then, that had $24,000 on it. Because you could scam the gas cards back then like that. You can't do that anymore. They put a limit on it. But he just would run this thing. We'd be eating hot dogs all day long, because we had no money. We were broke entrepreneurs. That's how I saw it. And it was the best experience of my life in business. Even though it sucked, we rebuilt that company one day at a time. We depended on people, and we depended on faith. Those two things are powerful in our lives. But there's a third component to this that we have to talk about, and it's action. Sacrifice comes with action too. So constantly I had to take action and sacrifice the things I wanted. In the early days, man, I just wanted to play video games. Get online, play some Borderlands with the homies. My brother would come over on Saturday night. We'd hook 4 TVs up, pull the Xboxes out, beer, burgers, yeah. And we'd just play video games. That was the life for me, right? And I had to start to realize for myself, yeah, but if I want to pay the bills, yeah, and then beyond that, what do I truly want? Do I just want to pay the bills this month? Or do I want to build something that lasts? There's a lot of tough choices that I had to make in those days. And right now, maybe you're making a ton of money, maybe you're super comfortable. Don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable. Whatever you do, stay uncomfortable. And ultimately, stay the course. That's the faith component. Remember to put your goals down, write out your action, and take it every single day. Let's talk about that. For me, I decided, okay, I'm in the copier industry. Everybody wears a suit, a tie, a button down, khakis, dope shoes, but mostly just like Ferragamo's when they were dope. Otherwise, they were like $5 at Payless, and they were loafers. You could tell, you could spot those sales guys my way, but like, ha, faking it. So I didn't want to fake it. Not into that, and I also put the equation together, not just of authenticity, which is extremely important for this group to hear. That's what rebels are. We're authentic all the way to our core, no matter what that looks like. You're good and you're bad. Come on. On top of that, I also didn't want to be like everybody else. Why? What's the point in that? Where's the fulfillment in your life to look and sound and act like someone else who is not you? That's not fair to who you are, and it's ultimately unfair to all the people that deserve to know the 100% in Rico. the 100% Stu, the 100% Corbin, the 100% Misha, the 100% Ray. It's not fair to your community. This is a selfless act, just as much as it's self-love. It's stepping out of your comfort zone to say, I owe this to other people. They deserve this. We have to remember that if we want things like that done to us, we have to set the precedence. Will you be the legend, is the question. So we sat down, many dinners, me and my dad, what are we going to do different? My dad was so cool. He was like, what do you want to do the website? John Farron does it. He works with his dad, sells copiers too, right? Like my clones over there. Right? We've been through all the same arguments. Yeah, so you never guessed what my dad told me to. Oh, you can guess, Rob. I probably had it happen to me too. Mike Simmons loves that little voice. Where's my guy? Yeah, you'll get it down, I promise. That's the improv in me. Yeah, I learned that. So, I developed what some of y'all know as the Copier Warrior. Anybody know the Copier Warrior? If you don't know the Copier Warrior, go to copierwarrior.com. I kept the original sign up in all of its glory. No updates. Even though it pains me every time I see it, like, oh my God, it could be so much cooler. Pack Like a Rebel. PackLikeARebel.com is the way I would have made it. If I updated it. Go to PackLikeARebel.com, check out their new sites. Logistics Larry also. He's not here, but logisticslarry.com, they both have dope websites like I would update them. So I vicariously lived out my updates. So the Copier Warrior. Everybody told me that I was dumb when I came out with that brand. I took the vest or the suit off, I would wear a vest. That's all I would wear. A vest with a button down if I had to dress nice. People would be like, you're incomplete. I'd be like, no, I'm exactly who I am. And you don't get to tell me what I wear. First RFP I ever walked into as the Copier Warrior. There's 21 people in the room. So like 2 of these tables, 3 of these tables. We're sitting in a sea of men and women with black on. Ties, looking sharp, as some would say. And I got bright clothes on and like, oh man, this is crazy. Can I do this? The RFP goes through, I maybe said a couple things, not a whole lot, right? But then at the end, everybody walks up and gives a business card. They sign their name on this little document, shake all 4 of the people's hands. Nice to meet you. One person's gonna win this deal. Now watch these ants just go marching in line, one at a time, like a bunch of lemmings. Over and over and over again. Sheep. Walked up behind him and I said, it's really nice to meet you. And I didn't sign anything. And they said, we gotta sign in. I said, no, I don't. That's crazy. You have my business card. And I put my business card in front of him. No one did that, by the way. But my business card was ripped in half. What's this? He said, oh, I tore it. I pre-tore it for you. And that's what you probably do with sales guys, business cards, right? Just tear it right and throw them away. I won that RFP. Woo! I wasn't just the cheapest price either. I was the 3rd highest. I won that RFP because I connected with those people through an authentic action. And that was baby steps for me. Stu will tell you, we just did an interview recently, and he's like, what's the craziest thing you're doing? And like, I can't tell you all the craziest things. It's wild. I was chilling with y'all in the car, and I told him about the time I dropped golf balls from a helicopter on a tournament to get a meeting with the CFO for Lockheed Martin. Yeah, just to literally get a meeting with him. But I ended up getting like 50 meetings, which was pretty cool too, right? But can you imagine a helicopter is pretty wild? It's like, and there's a guy going, the balls are from the Copier Warrior! What? This helicopter flying like 50 feet above the ground is dropping balls. I was like, someone's gonna die. Oh my God, what's happening? It was the coolest thing. I've done Thanksgiving turkey stuffed with my brochures. I've done, like, literally sent refrigerators to people that when you open them up, they're empty. And it says, well, I planned a feast, but you wouldn't get back to me. So I ate it. That's how the empty donut box was born. I've done some crazy stuff. All of it stemming from 3 places. Creativity, authenticity, is stepping away from the herd. It's so important to do those three things in all that we do. There is no one else in here like you. Just as there is no one else in here like me. Us as rebels have to band together around that truth, believe it and live it on a daily basis. That means that we have to be willing, to be vulnerable, to be empathetic, to be understanding, to be compassionate, to give grace, to meet people where they are, to be resolved. Rebels don't care if we win the deal. We care if the person on the other side is served effectively. That's it. Can I get an amen, or is that just me? That's how we roll. Because we understand and know that there's more out there for us. We live in abundance, not scarcity. We live in truth, not of lies. We choose something bigger for our lives. In the early stages of developing the Copier Warrior, it was frightening, y'all. It was weird, too. You know, not saying things like, can I get 15 minutes of your time that I was like programmed to do? You know, throwing that stuff out the window was weird. Someone say, what do you do? We all know. We all say the same thing. Oh, I'm a reseller for Comic Minolta, Canon, HP, white formats. Right? What do you do? Oh, I'm a payroll specialist. What do you do? Oh, I sell technology for medical facilities. Oh, what do you do? I work in heavy construction. It was hard for me to like get away from that. Oh, what do you do? I have the greatest job in the world. What's that? Glad you asked. I sell copy machines. Sick, right? You never forget me, right? You never forget. I love networking events. Everybody say that. Hi, my name is Trent Russell. I'm with this company. We are the best in the world, even though there's 4 other brands in here today that do the same thing as me. Like, what is that arrogance that we live in? There is no light in that. There is no truth in that. That is a business box. Rebels destroy that thing. We light it on fire, we send it down into the river, and we sink it. We never go back to it. You know what else lives in the business box? Bosses sexually harassing their employees and sweeping it under the rug. HR departments covering for your VPs, firing you at 350% of quota. Screw these people. They need to hear it. We are no longer going to be quiet about this stuff. We're going to say it as loud as we can. And look, it doesn't mean it's going to go away. It's still going to happen. That's why we exist. We exist to support those people. We exist to bring them to the light, to show them they have community, to help them find the right people to work for. If you work for Jeff Large or Eddie Steelman, you have made it. These are incredible leaders. They do not live in the status quo. They are not mediocre. They're the people amongst you, here with you today, to learn. Sean Barry is another great example. I would die to work for John. Sometimes I'm like, I think maybe if I get Jeremiah really good at coaching, I can like spend 2 days a month with you, and we can just make phone calls. That makes me excited. Especially when the leader is such a good person. Leaders that you love unconditionally. I love that. There's some great people. We've got some amazing people in our network. And that's what this is. Exactly what this is. This is also the accountability. We can't go back to those places after today and do it like we've been doing it. We have to make the change. It's extremely important. We have to commit, bless you. We have to commit to something new. We have to start turning more heads. And it goes beyond us, y'all. This is about giving people hope. Hope is a verb. You know, I'm not really we be living for? To go to the bar afterwards because we don't want to go home to our significant other because we've been fighting with them? To ignore the kids' baseball game because we were asked to stay out? That's a mediocre life. We don't want that. To do with it, especially. I wanted freedom, ultimate freedom. That's what we live for. Ultimate freedom of time, of finance, of family, of legacy. Something more. You only get that through action. By this hope, this ultimate belief of the verb. It's the only way. This is the way. Simple concept for everybody to learn from. Now that I'm done preaching. In order to be able to really step out of my comfort zone and become extremely creative, I had to understand that this is where I live. At the level of the status quo. We all start here. Junior sales reps, first-time sales rep at 38 years old, we start in this bucket. It's mediocrity to me. We all start there. And most salespeople exist in it for eternity. They live it. They are the people at quota. What is that? Who wants to be at quota? I don't. I told my dad, I said, he said, you're going to sell $30,000 a month in copiers. Bet. Took me 2 years. But I started averaging 60. My dad, in all of his wisdom, knew how to motivate a sales rep. He didn't raise my quota, he kept it at 30. 32. I'll make it up to 32. And I started running 70. And then my dad's business got bought. And I was never below 250% of quota. They put me in a $60,000 quota. Bet. I'll triple that. Man, I'll tell you right now, the cards were all stacked against me all the time. I'm a weirdo. I'm a creative. I'm an entertainer. I'm an artist. I'm not a salesperson. That's not how nobody looked at me as a salesperson. Now, this guy ain't gonna last. He can talk. He's not gonna last. Because what? Because I can't lie to people? You know, like that's what went through my head when I heard all these things. Why? Because I don't like white lie? Or even just like a little one? Because I don't do that? I'm not a salesperson? Cool. Then I don't want to be one. But when I started the rebellion, I made a commitment, just to say it, to change the negative stereotypes around the word. So I'm proud to be a salesperson. I ran from it early, like a Christian when they go to like a Joel Osteen church, and they're like, what is that? It comes flying in from the Jesus! And you're like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden you don't want to call yourself a Christian. Well, shame on you because that person doesn't represent me. They don't represent you if that's not your thing. Salespeople of the past don't represent the rebellion. To go from the status quo to get to the warrior, I did 3 things. Number 1, I built a personal brand. Who's got a personal brand in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys over here at Alltech, you got to check Alltech out. Now, Adam says he can't fit into the costume anymore, but I asked him to wear it, and it was, what's your wrestling name? Tech Daddy. Tech Daddy. And I mean, I'm talking like he'd get up like on the camera and be like, that's stone cold. Paper cans don't stand a chance. I mean, it was incredible. Incredible. Check out the Alltech team. They've all got their own little personal brands. Definitely worth it. We've got the Joyful Warrior in the house. PJ, do you have like it's Payroll Warrior, right? Payroll PJ. Anybody else? Let's go.
Follow-up boss.
Follow-up boss. That one's good. What you got, John? Tailor-made marketing. Boom.
Queen of outbound.
Queen of outbound.
All hail.
What's up, D?
The sales energizer.
Yeah. He is batteries now for sure.
Revenue plumber.
Revenue plumber, yes. They've been our brain in so many places. That's amazing. Anybody else? Why not? Yeah, you got a person. You have like a moniker? Enrique Creates. I like that. I mean, you're 200. You don't have to work on this, bro. Right? I mean, we got the man in here. Why not, though? Why don't y'all have personal brands? Packaging Rebel.
Say what sales.
Say what sales. Brand. If you don't have a personal brand, make a personal brand. I don't care if you think it's corny or silly or weird or dumb. Make it. The Copier Warrior came after a few iterations. I was like the Toner King. Oh my God. I tried a few things. Man, he was rock solid. Yes. You got one? You need one. This man's all over social. He shoots videos. He gets uncomfortable. You would say you're an introvert, right? You're a teacher. Introvert, teacher, turned salesperson. I mean, how incredible is that? What this man is seeking ultimate freedom. He's not living in the status quo anymore. He is taking the steps to become a warrior. What do you think the second thing is? Personal brand, number one. What's the second thing? I like it. In your brand, we want you to be authentic. In your personal brand, it has to be built around authenticity. It can't be a fake character. The tech daddy is Adam. He loves the WWE. It's incredible. That's the point. The Copier Warrior loved to serve. Servant leadership is the second. Everybody knows what servant leadership is? Somebody give me the definition. Think about example is good? Yes.
Serve others and the rest will fall into place.
I like that too.
Clients' needs plus.
Clients needs first. Anybody else? Shout it out.
Do everything from the outside in through the customer's eyes.
Love
Customer-centric.
it. Love it.
Radical intentionality.
Radical intentionality. That's good.
Experiences. Provide experiences.
Providing experiences. John.
Raising others up.
Lifting others up. To be a servant leader, you have to have zero expectation of any outcome, period. You have to give experiences. You have to be radical. You have to give zero emotional context to everything for yourself. Because it's the right thing to do. You can still dislike something, but you do it because you serve. You don't have to do it repetitively. It's about the people that you are serving. One and done happens sometimes when you're a servant leader, for sure. You act out as one for some real close friend, give them a hug at the end, and then you delete them from your phone and block them. All done with that one. There's still boundaries inside of servant leadership, but it ultimately is disconnecting from the outcome. Build a brand, become a servant leader. What's the third?
Consistency.
That's good.
Faith.
Faith is great.
Empathy.
Passion.
Empathy is wonderful. Passion is beautiful.
Action. Discipline.
Sacrifice.
That's good.
Tenacious gratitude.
I love that. Man, the words for today, bro. That's beautiful.
Contribute.
Say it again.
Contribute.
Contribute.
Help.
Help. Is that you? Great. Somebody's trying to do the whole skin thing. The third criteria is to create a sense of wonder for all people. Now, a sense of wonder is very powerful because it's literally nostalgia. It's an ambitious amount of it as well, too. Ultimately, some sometimes when we try to create a sense of wonder as well by giving a radical experience, we hit people's backside. And that's what the rebellion is all about. That's what becoming a warrior is. Literally, having a relationship with every single person, good or bad. Otherwise, you are indifferent. They will never know who you are. As salespeople, what is the criteria? Time is? Time is the currency. I like currency. Right? It's like James was saying earlier. Change your mindset just a little bit. Change your words like Juan taught us. Time is currency. Attention is? She said ransom? Oh, currency. Come on, man. Go on. Come on, I just told you. No ransom. Time is currency. Attention is?
Everything.
Exchange. Attention is the exchange of that currency. If you don't have somebody's attention, you don't exist. Good or bad. Sometimes it took me 6 years to win one copier deal. Because people didn't like me at first. Didn't stop me. Detached from the outcome. Lead as a servant. Build a brand around something that is your reputation. And it will never be stopped because other people will speak of you and you never have to speak of yourself through your actions. Now the legend, what do you think it is to become a legend? Unforgettable? Yeah, that's good. Go ahead, Maria. Say it again. A following. Impact. Lightsaber. What'd you say?
Use this wealth of knowledge to convert it into body wisdom. I feel
Love
like
wisdom. Yes, yes. Knowledge plus wisdom, right?
the creation of other legends or leaders.
Yes.
Pursuing excellence out of your given gifting.
Love it. Got 2 words missing here today. Let's see who can out to the other one. To become a legend is to build a legacy. Did you guys know that a legacy is not built by us? It's built by others, the perception that they have of us. Just like truth versus non-truth. If someone decides that they don't like what you say, they'll probably decide that you're not telling the truth. Doesn't make truth any less real. There's only one truth, by the way. One truth. There is no argument on that in my mind. But perception creates distance. Which is why when we come back to action, and the importance of action in building a legacy, we have to remember that every little detail matters. If you don't think through those things, you will hurt your reputation. You will hurt the brand you're building. Maybe unintentionally, and that's okay. But excellence is something that we should all be in pursuance of. Every day. There is no perfect person in this room, outside of it, anywhere in the world. There is absolutely perfect baked goods down the street. I can take you later. Oh, we got you some. My wife actually, for the VIP experience, you're going to eat some. Perfect bakes.
Yeah.
You have a problem with it?
So to me, that word perfect, we all just need to get rid of. There's no such thing.
I like her. That's perfect. Perfect exists. Oops. Somebody can say better, she says. Yeah. True. Additionally, not only do we not build our legacies, legacies are something we leave behind us. The road that we're traveling is ahead. The thing that we're building is way behind. Every day it gets further behind too. And every day it builds a little bit higher, the tower, brick by brick. one decision at a time. I want someone to shout out another person in the room that they believe is building a great legacy in their life. It could be a spouse, could be a parent. Tell me about a person in your life that's leaving an unforgettable legacy that you want to shout out right now. Go ahead, shout it out. Freaking love. There's so much good stuff in this room. I want one story. Raise your hand.
Hey everybody, I'm Michael Crane. So newly married, so my wife still likes me. It's fresh. We're doing good. So my wife's in medical sales. I'll try to speak quick because sometimes I can do that. So I'm still working on it. But anyways, my wife is a very giving person. She gives to everybody she works with in the medical field. One of her best friends actually just took over a recruiting company. And it's been struggling quite well. My wife's already stretched really thin with her job in the medical world, so flying, traveling, being doctors, blah, blah, blah. But she took it upon herself to start working for free as a friend out of love to help raise her friend's recruiting business back up. So she hops on weekly sales meeting. She's on Canva making marketing material that they don't have in her free time. So after she gets done in the hospital all day, she sits in a hotel room and helps her company of her friend, and she does it because she loves her, and she wants to leave a legacy of loving people and serving others, so she inspired me through that.
Legacies are such a beautiful thing. And that's the best way to describe it, the word beauty. The word beauty, to me, is almost the perfection that we see. Finding something beautiful. I love the word love as well, seeing how much love was just expressed for that legacy. We don't say love enough to each other, to a business acquaintance, to people in our lives, to strangers. Y'all go to the gas station, I'll like get a couple liquid deaths, shout out liquid death, liquid death. Homie will be like, $3 safety stamp. I live in East Tennessee, y'all. Marvel, Tennessee. Swear to God, if y'all call it Maryville, you're gonna get yelled at. There's stories there, I'll tell you about it. Other thanks. Swipe my card. Anything else? No, I'm good. No. Have a good day, Annabelle. Love you. If I be like, what? Did he just say you loved me? Strange. A lot of people don't hear that at all. Why not give it to them? Genuinely. I genuinely love people. I legitimately love people. It's like a curse. I love people. And in all of my travels and all of my existence and everything that I achieved, I did it because of love. One man. One man that raised me and taught me how to love. Unconditionally. You always got to attach that word with love. Unconditional love is powerful. Unconditional love for your job, for your circumstances, everything. When you zoom in on that legacy, you get closer to that tower, you find the people that matter the most. Brick by brick, it's difficult. But most of us have a God. Mine was my dad. And the way that we build our sales career, we should be honoring the legacy of those who brought us to where we are today. We should be honoring the legacy of the communities that have been built and are being built. We should honor the legacy of the future of what is to come. Legacies are so important. We believe that rebels never die. because of them. We live on, no matter what. Wow. 2017. Ooh. The sound guy earlier, yesterday he goes, if anything gets unplugged, the sound won't work anymore, and you'll be screwed. And earlier today, guess what happened? The sound came unplugged. Huh?
2016.
Maybe the mic to the computer speaker, that worked with the iPhones.
Alex and him.
This will be the greatest keynote you ever went to in your life. This is behind the scenes. See, my tech nerds in the house are like, Dale, you just have to be patient and be present.
Turn it off, turn it back on.
2016. Is that coming on the speakers? Yeah. There it is. Oh, come on. Here we go. In 2016, I lost my hero. Cancer sucks. I gave the eulogy though at my father's funeral, and let me tell you about it. I sat down in the front row for probably about, say, 3 hours waiting for this thing to start. Never once looked behind me, just focused on the mission. Was not going to lose hope that my father had left me. Pastor on stage looked at me and said, come on up. I walked up those stairs. I stood at that podium and I looked out on a sea of unfamiliar faces. Thousands of people came to see my father one last time. My dad sold copiers, but he changed people's lives, from his family to the people that he served. And that right there is the greatest thing that any of us can achieve in life. Giving somebody else hope for their own life, hope for the future of what is to come, hope for something new, hope for something different, hope in people, hope in community, hope in each other. And that's what I believe that we have today in this room. Hope. When I first decided to name this conference Totality, Jeremiah Griffin said, let's call it the final curtain on the status quo. I thought, that's brilliant. Let's do that. We also set this conference up as a way for all of you to come and just do something different than the same old boring garbage that has been done for so many years. And so with that message of hope and this identity of leaving things behind, but ultimately honoring what matters the most, I have one more message for you.
And it's a different color. That's cool.
With the dark shadow of the empire lies at west. This message is a warning and a reminder for any surviving Jedi. Not return. But time has passed. And our future is uncertain. We will each be challenged. Our trust, our faith, our friendships. But we must persevere.
Love you, Dale.
And I always pop the bubbles when they come in.
This message is a warning and a reminder for any surviving Jedi. Trust in the Force. Do not return to the temple when time has passed. And our future is uncertain. We will each be challenged. Our trust, our faith, our friendships. But we must persevere. And in time, Hey, we have, it's on sale.
We have tickets on sale now today for anybody here for half off. That'll be next year. You have to find somebody with a red hat on or that has the checkout. If you want to get a ticket, you don't want to wait. You want to pay half. Go find them. We'll check you out. Here, my man. Woo! It includes everything that it is here. Hotel, everything.
Let's make sure.
Here, let's get connected, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, my back was actually also going to real quick. Yeah,
Let me show you how.
yeah, I think I've. Somebody showed me this yesterday.
Yeah. I've been meaning to do it more. I like ChatGPT for everything now. I actually use ChatGPT as mom and app way more than Google search now.
Dang.
So, like it opens it's the best $20 a month event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
But man, I just want to say thanks. Last night was classic. I had such a great time.
Yeah.
And it's like it was perfect, like nightcap to the
It's
day.
good to just, there's so many sales guys out there, it's like, I don't know, sometimes you just get burned out and we're trying, and the competition inside your company, and just the reminder that everybody here is
You're in the same boat.